Hi everyone, Ms. Desario here. Today we're going to start our video notes for lesson 1.4, Triangular Trade. Your objective for today is that students will be able to analyze the impact of the triangular trade network on not just individuals but regions as well. So today we're going to start by talking about the slave trade to North America. To the right here, you see what would be a diagram of a slave ship. This is one example how Africans were imprisoned on the ship itself. We know that the slave trade began in North America in about 1518, and it started at the Caribbean islands. And this began the North American slave trade. After the first slaves were taken to the Caribbean islands in 1518, the demand for slavery steadily increased. African villages were raided. The trip to North America on the ship itself was very dangerous, but as was the trip from the villages where they were taken to the ship itself was extremely dangerous. And only about half of those taken from their villages actually survived the journey from their village to the ship itself. So the triangular slave trade was the trade of goods that included slaves from North America to Europe to Africa and then back to North America. You can see that triangular shape here on the map. We are going to start by discussing the Middle Passage, which you see here in yellow. The Middle Passage was when the transported captive Africans to North America. The journey of the Middle Passage was about 5,000 miles. And a ship typically held anywhere from 300 to 400 captive Africans. And about 10% of those who were held captive did not survive the journey. Due to diseases. Think back to the picture that we saw on the previous slide with how they were packed into the slave ships because they were so close. This led itself very much to disease. So to summarize what our focus was for this lesson on the triangular slave trade and the impact that it had on Africans specifically was that they were taken captive from Africa, transported across the Atlantic Ocean as part of a trade network to North America, many of whom lost their lives due to diseases. And that sums up lesson 1.3.